All right, so today we are looking at why is it so hard to transition in your career. Last week, as you know, we spoke about why it was important to choose the right career. And so we're at the stage where we're saying, okay, now that I am in a particular field, and I want to move up or to grow and to evolve, sometimes we find that it's difficult, and we're saying, why is it so hard? And also we want to look at how you transition from one place or one stage to the next career-wise. So Nahesha, would you like to share with us your opinion on this matter?
I would say that there are numerous reasons why it may be hard to move from point A to point B in terms of the organizational hierarchy. But I don't know if you want me to name a few. Maybe the fact that you're not qualified enough. You didn't go to school, so you didn't qualify yourself to gain the post that you want. Maybe you don't have the experience that they're looking for.
And everybody wants experience.
Yeah, which is a touchy
yes,
point.
that's a ticklish issue. One of the things that I think about is the fact that, especially for us here in Jamaica, there aren't a lot of opportunities available to you.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Even when you want to transition, there aren't a lot of companies, organizations to which you can move from one place to the next.
Yeah.
And in some situations, you are in some organizations where, because of how things are set, it's so difficult for you to move up.
Yeah.
You understand me? Sometimes we know that if you don't know the right people,
Yeah.
it's not gonna really happen for you. But it is not impossible. We know it's difficult, but we're not gonna say that it is impossible.
Yeah.
And so that's why we want to look at, the things that you can do to make this transition.
Yeah.
First of all, we are saying that in a career, you should not be in one place or one position for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
Because after doing something for 5 years or so, it becomes, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Your brain.
It's not healthy.
Yes, your brain starts to say, okay, I've had enough of
I
this.
don't even know if your brain starts to say that. Maybe the cells just start dying. So they're not saying anything at all. You understand?
Yes, so after you get to be doing something for 5 years, you want to move on to the next thing that's going to excite you.
Right. And it's not moving on for moving on sake, but it's something that you want to challenge you. Because doing something for more than whatever period, you've now mastered what you're doing, and so things become so easy, and there's nothing that is going to baffle your mind anymore, and
Exactly.
it's just so easy, and nobody wants to be working an easy job. If you are that type of person, let me know, because I don't know of nobody who just wants to go and do the same thing every day. We want something that is going to challenge us.
Yes, and where there is no challenge, especially when it's a job, it's something that you continuously do.
Yeah.
It's gonna become a problem.
If there is no challenge, you're going to start hating it. You're going to start feeling depressed. If there's nothing that excites you,
You're not
want to do
motivated.
it.
So it's
You're
a
not
big part of
motivated.
employee motivation. And so it would be good too if organizations help their employees to move from one place to the next to keep them alive and excited about what it is that they do.
Yeah, man.
So what I want to look at right now is the different ways in which people want to do this transition. So transitioning is you moving, as we said, from one place to the next. And there are different situations and circumstances where people have to or need to do this. There are situations where, as we mentioned in the last episode, where you did a little work, a little job to make some money to help yourself to go to school.
Entry level.
The entry level type thing. And now you want to move on to
Team lead.
You've gone
Let's
to college.
start at team lead.
You've gone to college. You have established yourself, gotten your qualification in that regard, and have some work experience under your belt.
Yeah.
And you want to move now from where you are to the next level, the next thing that is available. There are also persons who they were in a particular field or an area, and they decide, okay,
You want to change.
I want to change from
Right.
this. I no longer want to do this. I want to change from this. You have mothers who decided, okay, they're going to take some years, some time to have children and rear their children. Because
And
some
then
people
go
want
back
to be,
in.
and then go back. So you're going to transition
So
from
there are
being a
different
mom,
types.
from being a mom to going back into whatever career
Yeah.
area that you are interested in. So there are different ways in which people
Want
decide to transition.
And you have to know which one
Yes,
is for
and
you.
I'm glad you mentioned
because
that.
some persons want to move up and really you should be moving out.
Exactly, because there is no up for you to
There's
go
no
where you
up for
are.
you.
And so, as you mentioned that, there were some tips that we were looking at.
Yeah.
And we're saying the first thing you need to do is know why.
Why you want to move.
Why do I want to transition? If you don't know why, then you already start wrong.
Yeah. You have some persons who, as they go in, they want to go up. No,
No.
that's not how it works.
You need to take time to learn.
You need to take time to learn.
to garner experience, to develop yourself, and ensure that you are aware and you know what you are about.
You have to start at the basic. You can't just want to just go in and rush up there.
And yes, there are some people who are quick.
Yeah,
Some
no
people are
doubt
quick,
about that.
and so they may not need a whole 5 years,
Yeah.
in one area.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need to ensure that you allow yourself to develop
Yeah.
the right way.
Yeah.
No, for force.
Because you don't want to
right
go up the
way.
top and then fall back down.
Exactly,
You
and
understand?
that can
Yeah.
happen.
So know why.
Know why. Know why. Next thing.
The next thing is understand what is it that you want to do next. So a lot of us want to move, but we don't know what and where we want to go.
So get clarity on that.
Yeah, know which department. If it's a department that you would like to work in, know what it's about, right? If it's you wanting to move out of the company altogether, know which company you want to work at, and the
Yes.
department, and the career path, and the job description, and everything.
Right. And so the next thing is that what you need to know what it takes to get there. So it goes right back to the suggestion we gave from the last episode. Do your research.
Do your research.
You need to know what it's going to take me to move from where I am now to where I want to be. And then when you've done that, you make the action plan.
Yeah.
So,
You see, the truth is, I think it is in all of us to elevate ourselves.
yes, it is.
Right?
Definitely.
It is in all of us. So it doesn't matter where we start out. After a certain time, you're going to feel as though you're a bum.
Yeah.
Is it that what is wrong with
Why
me?
am I stuck
Why am
here?
I stuck here? Why am I not
Yes.
moving? Right? And we have so many persons who left college and are not using their degree like they should be using it, or
Present, miss.
or we're not. The things, listen, if you're supposed to ask me right now, Nahesha, what is operations management? I don't know. Everything when I learn, how much years am I graduate now? Probably
Oh,
about 4 or 5 years. But it gone because what? The
It's not being
opportunity-
used.
It's not being used. And so if I'm now supposed to get a position in operations management, I would now have to go and re-teach myself.
Yes. Revise and
Yes, man.
then
Do
start-
revision and
Yeah.
read back all of my notes and go
Yes.
through YouTube and try to
allow
teach
those
myself.
brain cells to be activated
To be
again
activated
in
again.
that
And
area.
it should not be like that.
Yes.
It should not be like
And
that.
so it goes right back to the difficulties that we face, the challenges that we face when we're trying to do things like that. And so as you rightly mentioned, that would be a part of the action plan. You are starting now to say, okay, I want to move. I know why. I know what I want to do. I have an idea of what I want to do. Let me see how it is that I'm going to do this. And then start to make the action plan that you have all the things in place to get the things done. And so, go ahead.
Before you even continue, let me just put in this point that we have been taught, maybe from high school. There's this thing called a business plan,
Yes.
right? Or a 5-year plan on yourself. We
Yes.
need to have that in place, especially when you're in a place now where you're wondering what is next. We have to sit down and write that, because if you want to say, all right, then I want to spend 2 years in another position here, we need to understand that, listen, after 2 years, what are you going to do? We can't
Yes.
just write it and stop at 2 years.
Right. and you need the vision board.
A vision
The
board.
vision board.
And a roadmap.
To help you along the way.
Yeah. So all of that needs to be put in place.
Right.
It is a struggle, I know.
Yes.
But we
But
have to put it
it's
in
the work
place.
that you are investing in yourself to develop yourself. And so that is what we are talking about.
Yeah.
And one of the ways, or some of the ways rather, that we can garner experience, because we know that going back to school to get the right qualifications is one of the action you take, but it's not the only thing.
Yeah.
Because as we have rightly said, we went to school, we got the degrees, but in a lot of ways our degrees aren't being used.
It's not.
They're just
being
there
used.
as a pretty piece of paper.
Yeah.
And the knowledge that we have in our heads, it gone rest, it gone to sleep.
Yeah.
So what we do, one of the things we're suggesting, or some of the things we're suggesting to do to help yourself in that regard, is to create your own personal projects that will help you to use the information and the knowledge that you have.
Okay.
You know? So it is important to have this, because as we said earlier, experience is what a lot of the organizations asking for. And I'm always saying, how do I get the experience if nobody employs me to do this thing?
Yeah.
So we're saying, create your own experience.
Create your own experience.
Yes, whatever it is, as I said, create your own projects. Do different things that can help you in the area that you are. And when you are interviewed, you can say, okay, I may not have been in a formal organization doing this, but on a personal level, I've done so and so and so, and you can show that, okay, I have some amount of experience in this area.
Agreed. All right, so the second one that we want you to look at is volunteering your services. Now, this don't mean go hand out food. Because usually sometimes when we think about voluntary services, it has to be with the needy.
And
it's
it's not,
the first
that's
thing,
not
and that's not what it really means. It means making yourself available to do other things without being paid.
Right.
You understand? So if you know somebody just started their business the other day, a small little office or something, and you want to be, let's say,
an
attorney, right? And you have lawyers in the office working and stuff like that. You go there, you ask them, is it possible for me to volunteer my service between 2 and 3 o'clock? Right? So 1 hour just to sit with an attorney to see what it is like, to get a feel, and to hear the way them speak and all of them something. You're a volunteer, especially if you're not working, miss or sir. Find some free time, man. And for the persons who are working, you can volunteer your service after 5 o'clock. Yes. Because guess what? It's just something that we have to do.
And it helps you to build the experience.
The experience that we need. That's exactly, because again, everybody's asking for experience, and we know that. And it's something that it kind of is a stop in the process. As you see, you just want to stop. You want to just put on everything.
Off. Yeah.
It is a turn off. But then guess what? If it is that it is needed, we need to go and find it.
Yes. Yeah.
We just have to go and find it.
Yeah.
You understand? If it means that you're going to create a business for yourself.
Yes.
And me no know stay on my daytime and act like it's a business they are run. Me no know. You just have to get
that might even
somewhere.
transition you into a whole new thing, because
you
created a job for yourself while trying to garner experience to go find a job. So
there's so many places that
you can. It's powerful for you to do that as well.
Yeah.
Another thing we can do, we can participate in internships. It's another form of volunteering, because of course in this area where you will not be paid.
Yeah.
But you will receive, in my opinion, a lot more than just money.
Give you a stipend.
That's true.
Right.
And you find a mentor that is in the field, in the area that you desire to go. And you're working along with them. You're seeing all that they are doing. You're participating in it. And even though you're not being paid at the time, you find that you are receiving, you are learning, you're getting so much from just being there.
Yes.
And so when you are now placed in a position, and that looks good on your resume.
It does.
When you're placed in a position to be interviewed for a job like this, you can say, I worked with so-and-so at wherever as an intern, and so I have the experience and the know-how to do this and that. You understand me? So you right there, you develop yourself and put yourself in a position to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. Another one is networking, and this is something that a lot of us shy away from.
Yeah.
Because we don't like putting ourselves out there, because that's what it really is.
Yes.
Putting yourself out there, taking yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yes, it is.
And go meet and greet people. So when if you're already in an established organization and you hear that they're having a seminar or a conference or whatever,
Definitely.
you go to your manager, you go to your supervisor, and you say, listen, I am interested.
You want to be a part of this.
I want to be a part of this thing. What is it about? You get me? You get them to get your ticket. You go there. And so when you go there, you're going to meet a whole heap of people in a different field.
Yes, definitely. And so in that, you expand yourself in one or two ways. You can build yourself up within your own organization because you went and garnered that knowledge. You
to
went
bring
and,
back.
and you know, brought something back to your company that makes you more valuable to them. On the other hand, you can meet someone new that can take you from where you are to someplace else. And it's always good to know people. Some people say, you know, it's not about who you know, but who knows you. Or maybe it's both ways. Who you know and who knows you helps to go a far way. So it
and
is
a lot of
important
time
like
when you have like networking seminars or stuff like that, you have persons out there who are literally looking for people. That's what it's about. So they're looking for people. You might not know who might come to find you.
Right.
That's
who
true.
you might go and find, you know, somebody and ended up working with that person or you know, whatever you can create from it. So you have to put yourself out there. You can't just sit down and say, okay, I want to move and, you know, take no action. So we also say freelancing is a good thing. Depending on the field that you are in, you can do freelance jobs in the sense that, okay, you have the skill for something and you work with a company that, you know, it's that company you work and use your skill. But by yourself on the side, you can do things. It may not pay you the big bucks, the big money, but it's not for the pay. It's for people to get to know you. It's for your name and your skill and your brand to be out there. You understand me? So if and when you decide that, okay, I want to take this to another level, you already have people who know who you are and know how well you do what you do. So you're putting yourself out there with that. So there are different things that we can do. There are different ways that we can make this whole transitioning thing happen for us.
And it is something that is, again, as I said, it's going to put us out of our comfort zone,
Yes,
especially if it is that you're already in a position where, you know, you're seasoned, as we will call it. No, let us not disregard the fact that we have unfair people working in organizations.
Yes.
Right? And that is something that I want to touch on. Meaning you have persons who are set above us. It could be managers, directors, whomever, who they see them see the potential, you know, but they just don't want it to grow. Right? Or they see a potential but they prefer give it to them friends or family members.
Because sometimes, you know, some organizations build that kind of culture. It becomes a culture. So they have this business and it's the norm, it's the culture, it's the practice for them to bring in family members and close friends and, you know, children of close friends to work in the organization. And really of a fact, I believe it in a lot of ways it's unfair, but it's the culture that they have, and that's what helps the thing to be so hard for you to transition sometimes.
We have positions too that companies rather get somebody from outside than inside, and that is something I understand too. Because let's say it's something that has to do with auditing. Right, it's best to get somebody from outside. So there are some positions that I understand getting somebody on the outside, but you have persons working who are above you who just stops you from growing,
and sometimes
they're intimidated by you as an individual. They just don't want to see you growing. And if you're in a position like that, it's best for you to go out. Than try to go up. It's best to just go out. So a lot of us really who want to go up the ladder, but some of you just have to
find something else
out the door and find something else.
Create something else. If it is that you can't find that position that you want, that platform that you want, create something. It's a hard. It's hard. But anything worth it, you know, it's challenging. So you just have to do what you have to do. Definitely.
Just have to do what we have to do. It's not hard to research a position that you really see will work for you and just work at it. It's only hard if maybe you don't know what is it that you want.
Yes, that's when it becomes difficult.
When it's
so
hard.
That's why we have to figure out the why, the what, and all of those things.
Figure it out and
work
then
on making it happen.
make the move. And trust me, a lot of us might be in a position where we are up to a place where we don't even want to try anymore. Because a lot of persons, we might be so depressed and stressed that we don't want to try moving out or up anymore. We just want to stay here and just hear, well, listen, it's putting food on the table, so let me just do it until.
Yeah, and that's not a good attitude to have. So, you know.
And I understand if you feel that way, but if you're listening today, get some strength.
Yeah.
Put some positivity upon it and fight for it.
Yes.
And go on for it.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I really hope that, you know, these tips that we're sharing, because like we said, don't look at us and think, okay, since they're giving us all of these suggestions and tips, it means that they've got it all figured out. I am here right now, and Nahesha is here right now, struggling with some of these same things. And so that is the reason why we were prompted to look into it. So the same way how we're going to work on it for ourselves, we encourage you to work on it for you. All right?
Let us give ourselves maybe like a 6 months.
Yeah, to see
and then
what
revisit
we
this,
can do.
and then we can see whether or not, based on what we learned here today, because
Yes,
we are learning too,
while we're, you know, advising.
Let's see if a change came.
Yes.
And you can tell us the same. So we'll revisit this topic in 6 months, which is July.
Probably need to make note of it so that we remember.
We need to. Thank you so much, guys, for always tuning in and listening to us. Remember that this audio is also available in all the podcast platforms. If you are here for the first time, it might be weird for you and you're wondering, why should I subscribe? But you won't regret it. So just press the button. Yeah. And we will see you next week.
Yes.
All right. And if you're not subscribed this week, next week is a better week. All right. Like the video and share, because a lot of persons need to hear this information. See you next week, guys.